how about I guess the Igorot language, and in respect to maybe the Ilocano language, how that kind of, maybe that was my question, kind of how that kind of mixed together and kind of created that I don't know, mix.
Yeah.
with,
The languages are not
yeah.
closely related, but
Okay.
what happened was the Ilocanos moved into the Cordillera because they could read and write. That's one of the reasons, or for whatever reason they wanted to farm or run a store or something like that. But the reason why they came in was because they could read and write. They had a written language which the Cordilleran people didn't have. So if there's any documentation that needed to be done, you called your local Illocano to write it out. So that was their contribution. They different from the Pangasinan people who were like cousins.
Good. Oh yeah, to the in the Formosa area as well, or?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they all came from there. The question is whether a separate group landed in the Ilocos versus the group that landed in Cagayan and followed the rivers. Yeah. But if you look at the language from the linguist, the Ilocano is a very far relation. It's not the Cordilleran language. It's a far relation to the Cordilleran languages. But
wow.
But the language, the Ilocano language, crept into, like all languages, they'll borrow from whoever comes around. Like I said, Cañao is a Ilocano word, Ili is an Ilocano word, and stuff like that. So that's all borrowed. So my grandfather wrote, he said that there must have been at one time a pure form of Nabaloy, but you can't get at it anymore because of the influence of the Ilocanos. There's so much Ilocano in Nabaloy, in Ibaloy, that you can't. It's hard to tweeze out the pure Nabaloy from the way the people spoke that, and that was 1900s. That was 100 plus years ago. He already couldn't squeeze out the pure Nabaloy from what the people then were speaking, which was already loaded with Ilocano words.
So the I don't know the term, but the ancient Ilocanos, they're saying they also came from Formosa.
Yes.
From Taiwan, but they probably entered through another, maybe from the west.
It's possible that they landed in the west coast, rather than landing in the Cagayan Valley, that they landed separately in the west coast and started off there. That's possible. That has to be worked out.
But they didn't really have to climb mountains out there then. It was easy to spread out through that area. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then the written language also, how did that kind of, some people kept
it? They because the Spaniards came, took over that place very early in the late 16th century. So those people there learned how to write Spanish because that was there.
Oh, you're talking about Romanized words. I thought you were talking about Babayin.
I don't think the Babayin went all the way up that far. I don't know. It may be, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. So when you were talking about the written language, you're talking about Romanized, yes, versus
that's right.
Native.
They were scribes, I guess is the word for it. Their job was to produce documents, and it was. Yeah.
So did the native writing mainly come from the south and move on up, you think?
That is the idea. There are some people who think it was originally Sanskrit. It was the Hindus from India who moved to Indonesia and Malaya, and from there they took their Sanskrit language up north, and that the Baybayin is an offshoot of Sanskrit writing.
Right. Yeah, because I remember a long time ago in the 90s, I had a friend he's not Igorot, but he was trying to find out if people in the mountain, like in the Cordillera, had the writing. He couldn't find it anywhere, and in some ways I was kind of disappointed. It's like, oh man, we don't have but at the same time, it is what it is. It just means that it just made me think more. Why would the lowlanders have it, but they didn't have it up there? And so that means that there was some type of different immigration or something, And
yeah, or just bigger societies. The societies there were bigger, and so they needed writing to be organized. Whereas in the Cordillera, it was village.
So it was necessity.
And it was a necessity as the societies got bigger.
Right. Because writing would be good for like making contracts or whatever, or promises.
Just counting stuff. I sold you 10 cows. You need to give me 20 goats, something like that. Write it down.